Okay, so we'll talk about example number 2. It says here, here's a graph where y equals to j of x. So here's a graph, just a graph.
Always they change fx, gx.
Yeah, they change it. Like sometimes they write down y equals to f of x. Sometimes they write g of x. Sometimes, in this case, it's this time's j of x. Yeah. Sketch the image graph after the translation of 4 units to the right. Translation of 4 units to the right and 5 units down. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, because it's translation of 4 units to the right, okay, so that's affecting the h value, right? So I'm just gonna write it down here again. Y minus k equals f of x minus h. So k is the vertical translation, the k vertical, h is the horizontal. So it says here 4 units to the right. So that means because it's horizontal, h is equals to positive 4. H to the right, positive 4. Okay, and then it says here 5 units down. So 5 units down. So that's the k value, because it's 5 units down. K is equals to negative 5, because negative is going down. Okay, so what we're gonna do, okay, because I know that these are here, okay, we're gonna continue with the mapping, because it's easy to kind of pick the points in here, but I also want to make sure that we understand how the mapping goes. We're gonna first pick some points on our original graph. So let's take a look at some points that are nice points. What do you see that's nice points in here? See, this is nice point, right? Negative 1, 0. That's a nice point to translate. I also see that 1, 5 is a nice point to translate. And then I also see this 2, 0, also a nice thing to translate. And the rest are not right on the grid, so it's a little bit challenging to do that. So we're just going to focus on these 3 points in here. So this one here is negative 1, 0. This point here is 1, 5. Oh yes, 1.5. Right, thank you. So it's 0.5, comma 5. And then this one is 2, comma 0. So now we're going to apply those translations, h and the k. So h is 4 units to the right, so whatever the x is, we're going to add 4, because it's 4 units to the right. And then for the y, it's going to be y minus 5, because it's 5 units down. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, okay, if this is the original negative 1, 0, and then we translated it 4 to the right, 5 down, what would the x be? Negative 1 add 4 would be 3. 3. Y is 0, so y minus 5 is negative 5. Is everybody okay? Negative 5, yeah. Here, y is 0, so I'm going to put in 0 there. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. The next point is, if x is 0.5, it's going to be 0.5 plus 4, it's going to be 4.5. And if y is 5, it's going to be 5 minus 5 is 0. Yes. If x is 2, so 2 plus 4 is going to be 6. And then 0, if y is 0, 0 minus 5 is minus 5. So this is the new points after we've using the mapping. So 3, negative 5. So it's going to be 3. I'm going to be careful with the increments here because they go on the x, they go up by 0.5, and then on the y, they go up by 1. So x is 3, and then a negative 5. So 1, 2, 3, negative 5. Right here. So this is the old point after it's been translated right and down. This is the new one. Okay, now what about this one? Now it's at 4.50. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.50. That's that point right there. And then the next one is 6, negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, negative 5 is so our graph looks like, I'll start off here. So our graph looks like that now. So it's been translated 4 to the right, so it's plus 4 for k, and then 5 units down for k, h and k. Okay, is that okay? Yeah. We're going to write down the general equation of the image. Okay, sure. Why is the first one?
The first point, you put it on 2 instead of 3.
Okay. Which? Yeah, sure. Can show me because I'm not sure which one are we looking at.
The 2 here.
The 2 there. Mm-hmm. This one?
No, here you start from here and then you go this way, right? So how come you start there?
Oh, no, this point here is, okay, so if we look at this point here, this is one point. It went right 4, so you go 1, because it's, each one is 0.5, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this point here is now right there.
Okay.
Is that okay? And then this point here, I'm gonna go 4 units.
From -1 you can 3 forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then if that's the case, if you can from there to 4, then the second one also is wrong.
This one?
The other
This one?
The next one.
This one?
No.
This one?
On the graph.
Which one?
On the graph.
Yeah, come and show me, because I'm not sure which one.
Here. The 4.5.
Oh.
If we can get it from there, that means it's wrong.
Are you looking at this graph?
No, I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, but why don't you come up here? Because I'm not sure which one you're looking at. Yeah, bring your paper, because I don't know which one you're looking
You said you said you count the 3 from here, right? From the starting point, then you end up at 2, right? You count the
Okay, come here. So we're starting at here.
like.
So that's
let me
this
use
point
yours.
here. Yeah, sure.
You started the point from here to count 3, right? And you ended up here. Then if you count 4, the 4 will be here and the 4.5 will be here. You understand? I think you counted.
Oh, no. Because the increment is 0.5. So if you count 4, this is this is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Then 0.5. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, this one here is plus 4.
I think you don't understand what I'm saying. If you let's use this one as an
Okay,
example, right?
so you're starting at 0.5, so that's this one.
Okay. Now I see.
Now you see it? Okay, no, okay.
Now I see it.
Yeah, okay, good. We're good now. Okay, so, let's get back here. These ones are coordinate points from the original one, okay? So this point, this one is -1, 0. -1, 0. This point is 0.5, 5. So this is your x, y. And then this point here, this from the original graph is 2, 0. Yeah. And what we're doing is we're translating it 4 units to the right. So we're adding 4 for the... So here, if I just take this one, this is my x, and if I added 4 to that, I'm going to get 3. If this is 0.5, if I add 4 to that, is 4.5. If 2, add 4 to that is 6. Now on the y, because it's 5 units down, your y value decreases, right? So it's y minus 5. So original one is y is 0. Okay, you put in a 0 there. 0 minus 5 is minus 5. Maybe this would help a little bit. Not sure. Okay. Back up the bus. And I'm glad we're talking about this because we don't want to have this question. Oh, yeah, you pay attention here. I'm glad that we're talking about this now because we don't want to figure that there's a problem later on. So x is -1, right? It's going to be -1 plus 4, comma, y is 0, so 0 minus 5. Okay, so that one would be 0, -1 plus 3 is 3, comma, negative 5. And that's this new point in here. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, that's 3. Negative 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 3, negative 5. Yeah? Okay, now over here, x is, we started off with the 0.5. It's going to be 0.5 plus 4. So it's going to be 0.5 plus 4 for x. And y is 5, so 5 minus 5. So x is now 0.5 plus 4 is 4.5. 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, so where's 4.50? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4.5 is there. 0, so that means we don't go up and down. Okay, so this point here used to be that point, is now down here. Yes, okay. Now let's do this one. Used to be 2, 0, but h is positive 4, so 2 plus 4, 0 minus 5, so it's going to be 6, comma, negative 5. So where's the new one? This one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then negative 5 is negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this point has now traveled down here. Okay? Yeah? If it's not, like, please say it, because I want to make sure that's okay. So here's the equation. What's the equation of the new translated thing? It's y minus k equals to j x minus h. Okay. So what is our k value? Our k value is minus 5. So it's y minus, because that's what it says there, minus 5. Okay. And it's j x. What's my minus? What's the h? H is 4. So 4. Simplify that. Let's simplify that. It's going to be y plus 5 equals j x minus 4. Okay. We're going to finish off the domain and range, and I think we're going to call it done for the day. What's the domain? Yeah.
Can I say y n is equal to j of x minus 9?
Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna take a look at this one. So what you're saying is you're thinking of moving this over there, okay? So you can say y equals, if I move this to the other side, it becomes j x minus 4 minus 5. Now, we can't move this in here, right? Because there's a function that needs to be dealt with in here. So we can't say x minus 9. Okay? So, is that okay? Because the j is a function that creates this graph. So we can't just neglect the j. The j is a function. Yeah, so this is a general equation of this graph.
I mean, when you're asking for the domain, are you asking for the new equation or both?
State the domain and range of original and its image. So we're going to do the domain and range of the original and the image. Start with the original. Okay, what's a domain for this function? Okay, now it looks like it's from 1 to 6, but remember, this continues on forever. Yeah, negative infinity up to positive infinity. Is everybody okay with that one? Yeah, okay. What about the range, the y values? Oh, starting with this one here first. 0, including 0 to infinity. Yeah, because it keeps going up. What about this one here? What's the domain and range for the image function? Yeah, it's still from negative infinity to positive infinity. And the range is from negative 5 up to infinity. Okay, so stopping right there. We're going to continue on. We won't do this tomorrow. We will see this again on Thursday because remember, our test is on for tomorrow.